Okay, so we're going around the circle with the regular cage system, and we hit the E string shape right here, and it's been moved to the right 1 fret because of the tuning third from root to 3 right here is just a third, right? So in guitar, you know, if we have our fret nut on the E there, it doesn't matter where the fret nut is, there's always the same tuning third between the G string and the B string, like that. It's here. So you hear the usually hear the fourth, 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 and the third there. Then back to a fourth there. So between the G and the B string is just a third. So between the G and the B string in this diagram here, we have to move the pattern over to the right 1 fret. So the 7 is where it should be now, okay? And it forms a third there. So that's the important thing to remember about the string shapes, how to fit them together. Normally, the A only has 2, so you got to put it on one side or the other side of a 4-note pattern, right? Of a 3-note pattern essentially. So it goes to form a fourth there. 2 to a 5 is fourth. It's a scalar fourth there, okay? It's a perfect fourth. And then between the what I call the 3rd string and the 4th string and the 5th string, some people call it the 3rd string and the 2nd string, is a third from 5 to 7. Okay, so we've moved the pattern over, and then we go back to P4 tuning, and we put C on top of E again, brick wall fashion, right there. So that's how we do that with the circle, the string shaped circle of fifths. Circle of string shaped fifths. Okay, but notice we've got fourths, 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 the third, and then the fourth. But the circle of string shaped fifths always stays the same. It's just the pattern fitting when you put it together that you have to watch out for. Otherwise, the string shapes, which are labeled, are always stacked in fifths. So even if we go to a different cage, let's look at the G cage. So we'll start the string shaped circle of fifths on the G. These are the old colors, which I haven't changed yet on all the diagrams. I've made so many diagrams that I can't keep updating the new ways of doing things. I find I'm going back, grabbing old diagrams, bringing them back into new ones, and have the old color scheme. Sorry about that, but I'm working on it. So we have here, we start on G. We're going to go G, D, A, E, C, G. Notice we have G and G on top. That was 6 right there. So it's G, D, A, E, C, and G. And we come up here with the E string shape. So this is the normal shape of the E of the D. We'll call it 3 strings from the D. So it's a S3D string shape. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root 2. This is the normal shape of the S3D string shape, the S3D pattern. It's a little mini pattern. Okay, it's a little mini pattern. This is its normal shape. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root 2. That would change if the 7 came over here. Okay, it would have to be moved over 1, and that happens. Well, we'll just look for a 7 up there. There's one that's going on the D shape there. Here's one right here, luckily. So this 7 has been warped over. So we want 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and instead of going 7 root 2 up here, we moved the 7 over there. So that's how it is. But on the bottom 4 strings here, the normal shapes are P4 tuning. So it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root 2. Okay, and then you have over in the E box here, we have a nice brick wall here. We've got 7 root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root, 2, 3, 4. But now the 5 isn't right over the 2 because we have to make a third there. So we move it up to maintain that fourth in the pattern. 2 goes to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, but it's actually a third away from the F sharp. Okay, so that's how the old cage system works. It's great and is part of any system that we're going to make. We'll work the cage and the string shapes into it. So let's get back to today's chart. Okay, so what is today's chart? Chart 305, caged, CAAGEED, modal cages, longs with cutouts. Now that's interesting because we've got a lot of stuff to cover here in this one chart. It's a very good chart because I haven't had a chance to teach a lesson, so I've just been fine-tuning this chart as I had time here and there. Okay, so if you're just beginning and you want to cut out of the lesson, now would be a good time. And what I can do is in the and I usually have done this, is have a little review before working up to the main topic, the main chart for the day. However, sometimes that takes an hour to just get to the chart, or I'll spend an hour on reinforcement, which is review, and then by the time we get to the regular stuff, beginners' heads are like, well, I can't handle that because I can just about agree with what the review was, and I can't, it's harder to take that to a new level if you haven't internalized and practiced these things. So if you're a beginner, you want to cut out, that's fine. We'll just continue, or you just want to watch it, because I'll try to make references to, general theorems or what that I've made about this, and reinforce things. So we got chart 305. So I've made 300 charts already, and I'm kind of scaling back the efforts right now because I'd take a job and do that, and we have other problems that have taken years to develop into problems that I have to get around to solving around here. So you put your time in and you get something out of it and you feel good about guitar. You can play the pentatonic scales. That's just a little C pentatonic scale. And try to put some feeling into it after you learn the scales from string to string, top to bottom. Then put a little feeling into it so you're not doing the whole thing all the time. So in the A cage you would be. And then notice when I've been playing, I've been having to work my way up to the top again because I haven't practiced them going backwards. Okay, so you don't always have to go the full gamut. Try to get a little feeling into the notes as you're doing them, but make sure you don't get stuck. So you're doing like just a little thing like and that's the whole thing. Because that'll be your whole song, and you didn't really get the whole deal. Okay, wow, that's really cutting into my finger. So I kind of miss those nylon strings. So as this segment comes to a close, well, what we got here is chart 305. This is the cage, modal cages with long cutouts. Now the cutouts mean that the cutouts are necessary this time. They're not particularly an option. Okay, so we're going to have the cutouts in each one of the cages. That's interesting. It's kind of forcing us to learn those open string patterns. Those little bits of the pattern that come in on the top of the open strings that we can play as open strings.